Hey everybody, it's Matt here at pianoblog.com. Today I'm going to talk about releasing the thumb. We're going to talk a little bit about how the thumb can cause bad hand position, bad alignment at the piano if you don't know how to use it, and especially this concept of releasing the thumb that a lot of people don't learn. So when we start piano lessons, a lot of times what we're told is, hey, you need to curl your fingers. All your fingers are different lengths, right? And your thumb is really short here. So the solution to that is to curl them all in so they're all touching the keys. And there is some truth to that. We do have to be able to bring our thumb in so that it can touch the keys. But the problem is that what many people develop from this hand position is they develop a real crook in the wrist. And especially, this is especially detrimental for pianists because a lot of times we are actually emphasizing fourth and fifth finger in our chords when we're voicing a chord or something like that. And so we have a crook in our wrist, and then we might be putting a little more weight into this part of our hand, and it can cause a lot of problems. And it also just causes problems in terms of our dexterity at the piano if we're in a locked position. And so one concept that you can think about that'll help a lot with this and with your piano playing is releasing the thumb. And what that means is that as you're playing the thumb and moving to another note, you can actually release the thumb so that it's not even touching or over the keys. Okay? So this, of course, varies depending on hand position, but the principle here is that as you're moving from one key to another, you can make small adjustments in your hand alignment using what's called deviation of the hand, radial deviation and ulnar deviation, if I'm not mixing those two things up. And so we all have this ability to move our hand like this. And if you look, what that does is as you're using one finger of the hand, you can actually get a straight line from the finger all the way down the forearm just by this very small movement of the hand. And when you're playing something like a five-finger pattern, you see I have a straight line here, and then I'm ever so slightly adjusting as I come up the five-finger pattern so that I continue to have a straight line. Where most people mess up with the thumb is that they over-deviate, and so they come in like this, and they get this really crooked position. Instead, what you can learn to do is actually walk the hand in as you get to the thumb. So let's say I'm going from my third finger to my first finger here, to the thumb. Watch what happens from my elbow. My whole hand walks in just a little bit, so that instead of deviating way over here, I'm actually walking into the thumb. And then, as I move to another note off of the thumb, I'm just releasing like this. Okay? Now, with all of technique is a very complex structure that builds up from simple movements. So there are many instances, for example, if I was going quickly back and forth, I wouldn't do that. That wouldn't make any sense. But as a general rule, when we're talking about aligning the hand, say I'm playing a five-finger pattern, and I'm not going to come back to the thumb anytime soon, just learning to release like that is extremely helpful so that I keep the rest of my hand in alignment. So a very simple exercise you can do for this. Start on, say, the third finger, actually would be very helpful. Then practice walking into the thumb like this. And then as you move to other notes, going back down a five-finger pattern, just practice releasing. This is, of course, going to vary from all sorts of body types and hand types and the relationship of the length of your arm to the hand and everything else. But you want to watch what's happening in your own body, your own hand, as you do that, and you practice releasing just like that. This is so important that often when I'm teaching very little children, I will not start with the thumb like a lot of method books do. I'll start with the third finger so that they get this feel of this is what a good alignment is. And then when we introduce the thumb, we learn how to walk in and we learn how to slightly deviate our hand so that it it moves into good alignment as we're using the thumb and other fingers. So I hope that that is helpful. I hope you understand releasing the thumb. If you want to hear these sort of concepts talked about in much more detail so that you can get into the details and steps of all sorts of different hand movements, please check out my free piano technique course. I've linked to it below. I talk a lot about hand alignment, arm alignment, and things like that. And I've also linked to my free piano lessons below. And of course, make sure you like and subscribe to the channel, like the video, and turn on the bell notification so you can be notified when I upload new videos. And I'll see you next time.